Kyle takes Harrison to LA for Halloween with Claire. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, still isn't getting through to Claire Newman, Haley Erin. Harrison Abbott, Redding Munsell, has been very upset that Claire has not been around since she and Kyle broke up. Will Harrison be brought back to Los Angeles by Kyle so that Claire and he can spend the holiday there? Kyle Abbott promised to leave. If Claire wanted him to, Kyle had promised to leave LA and go back to Genoa City. However, Kyle has found himself investigating Audra Charles, Zuleika Silva. Even though Halloween is rapidly approaching, Kyle has not yet returned home with Claire. Will Kyle make a quick trip to Genoa City to take Kyle back to LA? Kyle allowed Harrison to get very close to Claire while they were dating and when she was his nanny as well. However, Harrison doesn't understand why she has suddenly disappeared from his life. Because she wants to see what else is available to her, Claire has not responded to any of Kyle's attempts to reunite them. Will Claire ever return to Kyle? Harrison Abbott doesn't want Halloween with his grandparents. Harrison doesn't want to spend Halloween with his grandparents. Harrison expects his father to be there and wants Claire to be there too. Kyle could fly home for Halloween and return to continue his conversation with Sienna Bacall, Tamara Braun, afterwards. It's possible that Kyle can persuade Harrison to agree to this. Harrison may whine until Kyle takes him to Los Angeles on his own. Now that Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, is after Jabbo, Kyle is about to learn that he is needed in Genoa City. While a quick trip might be possible, Kyle cannot let go of his obsession with Audra in order to postpone his conversation with Sienna until Victor abandons his attempt to take over. Harrison Abbott's heart could be broken by Claire Newman. What if Kyle takes Harrison to LA and Claire refuses to change her plans to go with him? Harrison may accept Claire's attempt to explain this, but that doesn't mean he will. If Harrison come all of that way and Claire turns him down, he will be heartbroken. Would Claire disappoint Harrison if Kyle did bring him to LA? With everything that is happening in LA right now, having Harrison there would be too dangerous. Noah Newman, Lucas Adams, has already been the target of a murder attempt, and whoever it was probably knows that Claire is related to him. Would having Harrison around Claire right now put him in danger? Should Kyle just stay at home and be content? For all things Y&R, come here. Check back often for the Young and the Restless news, spoilers, and updates. LA. Interrogation, bound, and safeguarding interests. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, October 29th suggest that Genoa City and Los Angeles may be in for some big surprises. 2 more GC residents will head to LA, while someone interrogates a new friend, and a character protects their interests. What's on the horizon for Wednesday's show? Time to find out. Nikki and Victoria Newman are LA bound. In light of Noah Newman's, Lucas Adams, car accident, the Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, October 29th reveal that Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, and Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley, will travel to Los Angeles to be with Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, and Sharon Newman, Sharon Case. What kind of intrigue will they elicit while they are there? Given that she is on vacation with Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, will Claire Newman, played by Haley Erin, be pleased to see them or slightly horrified? Be sure to check out the spoilers for this week's Y&R here. Sienna Bacall is interrogated by Kyle Abbott. Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, will question Sienna Bacall, Tamara Braun, across Los Angeles. Kyle hopes to get some dirt on Audra Charles, Zuleika Silva, so what kind of information will the club owner offer up? Sienna and Audra clearly have a bad relationship, so it will be interesting to hear what she has to say about the brunette and how Kyle can use it against his foe. Read this, The Young and the Restless spoilers, 5 revenge plays against Phyllis for Jabbo takeover. Phyllis Summers protects her interests. But doesn't she always? The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday's show suggest that Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, will have her guard up, and who could blame her? She appears to be interested in taking over Jabbo after stealing Kane Ashby's, Billy Flynn, AI software and offering it to Victor Newman, Eric Braeden. With that said, will Kane find out what his ally has done? She was the first person he accused of snagging the program, and knowing that she went straight to the mustache with it, even though she's lied through her teeth about it, will infuriate Kane if he ever finds out. He wanted to use the AI software for good, but it seems like Phyllis has used it for evil. What is Phyllis' plan for everything? Fans will have to tune in to find out. What aspect of the show's plot do you look forward to the most on Wednesday? Comment down below. For the most recent Young and the Restless news, spoilers, and updates, tune into the CBS soap every day and frequently visit SOS. Surprising deal, cryptic message, pushed too far. Spoilers for Tuesday, October 28th episode of The Young and the Restless hint at some shocking events taking place in Genoa City. A new deal is made between two rivals, a mysterious message is sent to someone, and a character is pushed too far this time. What's on the horizon for Tuesday's show? Time to find out. The surprising deal of Victor Newman. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, October 28th, indicate that Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, will strike a deal with someone surprising, and all arrows point to Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, handing over the AI software to the mustache. But how much will Victor have to pay Phyllis for the program, or will their agreement be about something else? Jack Abbott's cryptic message. A cryptic message will be sent across town to Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, and it appears that this will have to do with Victor scoring the AI software. Be sure to check out the spoilers for this week's Y&R here. Will this, on the other hand, be about anything else? Will Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, or Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, warn Jack that the program has gone missing, and that Victor may have it? Kane and Lily talked about this during the Monday, October 27th show, so there's a good chance that one of them gives Jack the heads up. Billy Abbott has exhausted himself finally. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday indicate that Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, will push Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, too far. Nobody knows how to push Billy's buttons, and vice versa, like Adam, and this week's Y&R preview shows Billy punching out Adam in the middle of the GCAC. But what does Adam tell Billy right before the big punch? Read this. The Young and the Restless next 3 weeks. Claire's hot dilemma. Sienna interrogates Mitch, Michael's risky decision. Adam shouldn't mention Billy's late daughter, Delia Abbott, Sophie Polono, because these two have a lot of history and animosity between them. When it comes to Billy, viewers will have to tune in to find out what exactly breaks the camel's back. What aspect of the show's plot do you look forward to the most on Tuesday? Comment down below. For the most recent Young and the Restless news, spoilers, and updates, tune into the CBS soap every day and frequently visit SOS. Kyle Abbott takes Harrison to LA for Halloween with Claire Newman. Love, loss, and a dangerous reunion. Few storylines on The Young and the Restless intertwine heart, danger, and emotional complexity quite like the current saga surrounding Kyle Abbott, Michael Miller, Claire Newman, Haley Erin, and little Harrison Abbott, Redding Munsell. What began as a light romantic subplot has evolved into a layered drama about heartbreak, parental responsibility, and the consequences of obsession. Genoa City's Halloween season has become one of the most emotionally charged and suspenseful arcs in years thanks to parallel developments in Los Angeles, the crash of Noah Newman, the schemes of Phyllis Summers, and Victor Newman's brewing power games. At the center stands Kyle, torn between his duties as a father, his unresolved feelings for Claire, and his dangerous fixation on Audra Charles, Zuleika Silva. Each decision he makes pulls him deeper into a web of emotional conflict and corporate intrigue, with his young son's happiness hanging in the balance. The fractured fairy tale, Kyle and Claire's sudden split. Both Kyle Abbott and Claire Newman seem to be going through a turning point in their lives when they started dating. Claire, having survived years of manipulation under Jordan's shadow, finally found a sense of belonging and trust in Kyle's world. Kyle, reeling from the fallout of his failed marriage to Summer Newman and the chaotic aftermath of his affair with Audra, found peace in Claire's steady warmth and her genuine bond with Harrison. But when Claire started to move away, the delicate equilibrium collapsed. Kyle, who had allowed his son to develop a strong attachment to her, was taken aback by her desire to see what else is out there. In Harrison's young life, Claire was more than just a friend, she was a reassuring presence, almost like a mother figure. For him, her disappearance was not just a breakup, it was abandonment. And for Kyle, it was a crisis of guilt. Since the breakup, Claire has not spoken. Perhaps she senses that Kyle's priorities have returned to Jabot, Audra, and corporate intrigue, which is why she is not responding to his attempts at reconciliation. However, in soap terms, emotional silence always carries subtext. Is Claire protecting herself or protecting Kyle and Harrison from something darker brewing in Los Angeles? Los Angeles pull and Kyle's promise if Claire wanted it. Kyle said he would leave Los Angeles and go back to Genoa City. When power, ambition, and danger meet, promises are easy to make but harder to keep. Kyle's personal and professional loyalties are complicated by his recent involvement in Los Angeles with Audra Charles and Sienna Bacall, Tamara Braun. His investigating Audra's dealings, chasing answers, and perhaps chasing his own redemption after their toxic affair. Harrison's agitation, on the other hand, becomes unbearable as Halloween draws nearer. The little boy's innocent longing for Claire, his belief that she will come back if he just waits long enough, breaks Kyle's heart. The pressure mounts, and Kyle finds himself faced with an impossible choice: stay in LA to pursue business interests and risky interrogations, or return home to comfort his son and face the emotional wreckage he helped create. A father's desperate attempt to mend what he has broken by taking Harrison to Los Angeles for Halloween feels like an act of desperation. But like so many well-intentioned soap opera moves, it risks igniting more pain than it resolves. Heartache, the crossfire of innocence by Harrison Abbott. Harrison's heartbreak provides the emotional core of this storyline. He is too young to comprehend adult relationships, but he is old enough to feel the hurt of being away. Halloween, a holiday built around fantasy and joy, becomes symbolic of his fractured family life. The boy doesn't want pumpkins and candy with his grandparents. He wants the people who make him feel safe, his father and Claire. His resistance to spending the holiday with the Abbotts is not about rebellion, it's about longing. To Harrison, Halloween with Jack and Diane means loneliness, while Halloween with Kyle and Claire means hope. The emotional truth compels Kyle to act. He may tell himself that taking Harrison to LA is for closure or reconciliation, but deep down, it's also about easing his guilt. However, the subtext is abundantly clear: Kyle will be held accountable for reopening Harrison's wound if Claire rejects them. The dilemma of Claire Newman: should she choose freedom or duty? Claire Newman's silence is not simple indifference, it's a reflection of her ongoing internal battle. Having grown up manipulated, controlled, and gaslighted by Jordan, she craves independence and emotional clarity. Her connection with Kyle, though genuine, came at a time when she was still rebuilding her sense of self. To jump from trauma into instant family life with Kyle and his son may have been too much too soon. Her decision to distance herself could be an act of self-preservation. Yet Claire's avoidance also speaks to fear. She doesn't want to undermine Harrison's trust because she is aware that his affection is genuine. She will be forced to confront what she fled from when Kyle brings Harrison to Los Angeles: emotional accountability. Will she crush Harrison's heart in the name of self-discovery, or will she soothe it? The current chaos in Los Angeles, the attempted attack on Noah Newman and the ominous threats circling the Newman family adds tension to the situation. Claire is in a vulnerable position due to her proximity to danger. If she allows Harrison close, she risks exposing him to violence. If she keeps her distance, she breaks his heart. Her choice will shape not only her relationship with Kyle but also her place in the Newman family, because it is a no-win situation. Kyle's conflicting loyalties, the ghosts of Genoa City. Kyle's professional and personal lives fall apart at the same time. As a result of Victor Newman's renewed focus on Jabo's takeover, Kyle is at the center of a new conflict. Victor's aggressive strategies have reignited old rivalries, forcing Jack Abbott and his family to go on the defensive once more. Another volatile factor is Kyle's obsession with Audra Charles, his former lover turned adversary. He is determined to discover Audra's manipulations, but his obsession runs the risk of becoming self-destructive. The irony is palpable. Even though Kyle says he is fighting for justice, he is acting on the same ruthless instincts that once drove him away from Summer and almost cost him his integrity. Sienna Bacall's involvement complicates matters further. A club owner with hidden motives and connections to Audra, Sienna becomes a mirror for Kyle's darker impulses. His interrogation of her, ostensibly for information, reveals his growing tendency to manipulate others to serve his emotional agenda. The man who once defined himself through family loyalty now blurs the line between protector and predator. When worlds collide, the Los Angeles connection as Nikki, Melody Thomas Scott, and Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinle, travel to Los Angeles following Noah Newman's car accident, the story expands dramatically. The dramas in LA and Genoa City are brought together by their arrival, transforming them into a single, convergent storm. Claire's connection to the Newmans means she cannot avoid their presence. Victoria's skepticism and Nikki's protective instincts could force Claire to confront her past and explain her plans for the future with Kyle. If they find her with him, or worse, with Harrison, it could reignite old wounds and family feuds. In the meantime, Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, and Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, loom large over both cities. The corporate chess game that continues to shape everyone's lives is represented by Phyllis's theft of Kane Ashby's AI program and her rumored alliance with Victor. Jabot's future, the balance of power at Newman Enterprises, and even Kyle's safety are all in jeopardy. According to the logic of soap operas, no storyline exists on its own, and Kyle's trip to Los Angeles for Halloween might coincide with one of the most perilous Newman power plays in recent memory. Phyllis Summers guards her purposes. Phyllis is the epitome of a survivor even though Kyle is mired in emotional turmoil. Having stolen the AI software and possibly sold it to Victor, she is once again balancing on the knife's edge of morality. Her ability to adapt and rule in chaos is demonstrated by her ability to manipulate powerful men like Victor, Kane, and even Jack. Her connection to Victor's secret deals and Jabot's takeover is important but only indirectly related to Kyle's story. If Victor succeeds, Kyle could lose everything he's fought for professionally. As a result, while Kyle's heart is in Los Angeles, his business and family legacy are in jeopardy back at home. Phyllis's motivations are complex. She is viewed by some as an opportunist, while others see her as avenging those who have wronged her. Either way, she represents the chaos that perpetually reshapes Genoa City, brilliant, dangerous, and impossible to ignore. The deal and the cryptic warning of Victor Newman. The decision that Victor Newman made to make a deal with Phyllis marks yet another pivotal moment in the show's power dynamic. Victor always wins, at least temporarily, regardless of his payment for the AI software, monetary or strategic. His surprising deal is a masterstroke in reclaiming dominance, but it also invites new enemies into his circle. At the same time, Jack Abbott receives a cryptic message likely warning him about Victor's acquisition of the AI tool or Phyllis's betrayal. The generational and ethical divide in their families is reflected in the tension that exists between Victor and Jack, two titans. As their corporate feud escalates, the collateral damage may include not just companies but relationships, Kyle's included. Billy Abbott's breaking point. Amidst all this turmoil, Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, continues his slow descent into instability. His explosive confrontation with Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, culminating in a violent outburst, reveals the emotional exhaustion that defines the Abbott's current state. Billy's volatility contrasts sharply with Kyle's controlled determination, highlighting the family's fragmentation. The Abbotts, once united by tragedy and loyalty, are now splintered by pride and secrecy. While Kyle's actions in Los Angeles push him further away from home, Jack struggles to maintain his composure. Their parallel battles, Jack's against Victor, Kyle's against Audra, may soon converge in ways neither expects. A Halloween of reckoning. In The Young and the Restless, Halloween is frequently used as a metaphorical setting. Masks conceal truths and flickering lights bring about revelations. This year, the holiday promises emotional fireworks. If Kyle brings Harrison to LA, the confrontation between father, son, and Claire could be devastating. Claire's painful honesty and Harrison's innocent hope for a reunion might conflict. The show's larger-than-life stakes could be grounded in a child's broken heart, making it the episode's emotional focus. Simultaneously, the city's darker subplots, Noah's accident, the Newman's secrets, Phyllis's manipulations, threaten to turn Los Angeles into a war zone. What begins as a sincere act of kindness may result in chaos, danger, and decisions that cannot be reversed for Kyle.